So, you're looking to play Millia? I like to play Millia. Let's play some Millia. I'm going to try and not overload too much information. This is more of a foundational building for Millia. Diving in, before getting into any concepts like a game plan, the most important moves to know are her fastest move is this at 6 frames, as well as her crouching punch, and 7 frames for her standing punch. Her other important ground normals are also 7 frames, so if you feel the need to mash out of a block string, or if an opponent's command grab is incoming at you, crouching punch is probably your best option, though crouching kick will work too. The most important moves to control the air be jumping slash, and the most important move on the ground is close slash, and again, these kicks that I'll talk about. We'll get into that in a bit. Another one of Millia's key buttons is her jumping heavy slash. Because this hits both sides, it's very good at just, once you're close to the enemy, dashing above the opponent and landing with a strong hitbox on either side. Two other important moves would be Millia's sweep crouching dust and her quarter circle forward heavy slash. This will get its own section later. Millia is the second fastest ground speed in the game, only to Chip, and honestly, it's enough. You don't need to compare yourself to another character in this aspect. She is fast. She is very fast. Because of her ability to do multiple air dashes and have 2 different command dashes in the air, she's unmatched when it comes to air mobility. Now, your game plan with Millia, the most important thing to do is choosing your moments to engage. Because of her high speed on the ground and her many options in the air, it feels like you always want to be rushing in. That is something that you really got to put the leash on when you're first starting out, because even though that feels great, the moment that she gets hit, she'll explode. With this in mind, while she is incredibly fast, a lot of the times you want to fake when you're coming in until eventually you leap in and get a good punish. It's very tempting to jump in the air because of all the options she has, but what will define a really strong Millia player is knowing when to just run in on the ground and start up her offense. Like all characters in the game, her 6P forward punch is invincible to aerial attacks. It does have its own unique uses, albeit it's a bit hard to take advantage of. The reward of a 6 punch is not the damage, it's the set play, but you have to be ready to react to the moment you get a hit, which is hard. In fact, I don't even think that should be part of this beginner thing, but it's the little teaser I'll give you moving forward. Millia's game plan is to put you into a knockdown situation and begin to mix. So from neutral right here, threatening with small little buttons and pokes, dashing around, staying outside of your opponent's reach is the main game plan until finally you can run in and begin the game. Now, her pressure, this is the big one. Outside of just running up and getting a grab or running up getting a hit is kicks. Her kicks are incredibly helpful. Being able to chain the kicks from standing into themselves and stay safe, as well as chain into the lower ones into her knockdown is huge. We'll get to the knockdown in a second. So all I would say for this is to start off, don't even interact with the opponent, just learn the timing of her kick to be able to do it as fast as possible. A good way to also break this up is kick and try and dash as early as possible. This becomes really big in a lot of her other future things, so make sure that you grind that out. So you can start to mix up a kick into that grab and such. Once you get that grab knockdown, that's where the real pressure and fun begins. The main set play that we're going to be talking about at base level is Millia's discs. This is the bread and butter of your Millia gameplay. It will allow her to essentially turn a little knockdown scenario into potentially 4 or 5 different hits on your opponent. They will come from a grab or they'll come from your sweep. The timings of these are slightly different, but don't worry about those right now. Just get used to trying to think of those 2 enders being things that you're looking for. Even though the damage doesn't look high, the opportunity for damage is immense. So we're going to say that there are essentially 5 different options for these discs and break down the strengths and weaknesses of each. The first one, going low. That is very scary for the opponent. They have to be blocking low for that, and even if they do, because of the disc, you still get to take your turn. Next, we'll have going other side. This is quite tricky because at the last moment, your opponent will have to change the direction that they're blocking. Pretty much they have to predict where you're going to be. Also, if they're caught by this, unlike the previous example and the one to follow, because it's starting with a disc doing damage first and not one of your aerial or grounded attacks, your combo's damage will be a lot higher. The only real weakness of this one is if you're fighting someone like Leo. Because his DP is not direction dependent, he can punish you pretty bad. The third option is throwing out a jumping punch. This is really good at checking your opponent, like Leo, if they're trying to do an invincible reversal. Timing it right, you will stuff anyone's DP and begin a combo. The only real weakness of this is that the scaling isn't too great, but hey, that's not bad. Fourth, we have landing and grabbing. Now, this is a little bit cheeky and it shouldn't be used too much because while it could grab even a DP like Souls, usually you won't land in time to grab it. And this also will lose to any button. It will lose to mashing and make your disc disappear if you're hit. However, this is really good to throw out occasionally if the opponent is completely trying to block. It does a lot of mental damage being put right back into that situation, and just doing it once will always make them beg the question, is it gonna happen again? Finally, the last thing's honestly pretty simple, but simple enough that a lot of times people don't expect it, and that's air dashing away. This stuff's any kind of option, whether it's a punch or a DP, and the only thing that is the weakness of it is that you don't get as good of a pressure after the disc that you would had you stayed closer. Now, combos. Everybody loves combos. A lot of people will always ask in chats, oh, is there there any way to get better other than practice this for 3 hours straight? And my answer to that is that that will make you a worse player. You are only training yourself to do that specific thing, and most of the time you don't even know how to get to the scenario where it will work. We're going to just cover the 2 basic kind of combo strings and then put them together in the corner. Don't you worry, Millia's got the sauce. First, let's try standing or crouching slash, whichever one you prefer, into crouching heavy slash, into quarter circle forward slash, which is the light disc. After that, let's try doing a kick into command forward and heavy slash, into quarter circle back punch. Note that the second combo won't work on a standing opponent normally. If it's connected in the air, that's a different story. Also, I guess it would be weird if we played Millia and we didn't talk about doing any air combos. For now, let's try doing something just off of the clean hit of the disc when you switch sides. We'll do it very basic, the same couple moves, and it'll be close slash to get them a little bit higher up, then jump up and do slash, dust, jump, slash, dust, air dash, slash, dust. And if you're close enough, you can finish with the moon. For now, this is enough to get started. Also, if you're fighting someone who's heavier, such as Potemkin or Yuki, replace the slash with a kick. It'll help lift them into the air. Otherwise, they may fall out. Finally, you probably want some uses for using your tension bar down below. As far as roaming cancels go, they can be great at canceling an already thrown out move to retreat. If you want to use it for combos, try doing one of those simple ones we did before, roaming canceling, and then going into the air combo. As a beginner, using supers in combos may be too hard for you. You're welcome to try it on your own, but we'll go into that in a future guide. For now, if you want to use your tension for a super, I would recommend at the end of that corner combo that we tried before, use the time that they get stuck to buffer the quarter circles forward, and then do your slash for the disc. Alternatively, if you're knocked down, since Millia has no reversal, using the tension for her angel wings can be an excellent decision. And it does a nice bit of damage. Ooh, alright, still with us? That covers it for this beginner guide. I plan to be making many more for Millia in the future, along with guides documenting my experiences as I learn new characters, so come learn along with me. Let me know down below what you thought worked well for you and what can be improved on. With that, I think we're at the end. I'll see you next time. Oh, should I do the thing? Thank you for watching.